say welcome. And if you would like to tell us a little bit about your new business that you've set up with your husband, Robert, in Cork.
Thanks, Adele. Thanks for inviting us to have a chat with you. It's a pleasure for us. So Robert, my husband, and we booked together, launched a new business. We are just 3 weeks old in the business. So we launched our Rebel City Distillery on June 23rd. So we did a virtual launch and we had a virtual first. So our first product is Maharani Gin, which is a fusion product of Kerala, from where I am from, and Cork, from where Rob is. So our first product, Maharani, is a celebration of both cultures, of both Kerala and Cork.
Wow, well, congratulations on setting up a new business in the pandemic. It's really good to see, and it's really positive to hear that there is new business happening. And I have to say, I absolutely love your brand. My background is graphics. Before I became an interior designer and a color consultant, I actually worked in graphics. So I really appreciate the simplicity of your website and your bottle. And I'd just like to ask you, first of all, what was it like to grow up in Kerala and now living in Ireland? Is there any similarities?
Yes, terrain-wise, Kerala is very green. Ireland is very, very green. So kind of, except the cold, I feel like I am in. Growing up in Kerala, I used to live with my parents up until 22. So a lot of mango trees, climbing around the mango trees, plucking mangoes and eating. I was a day scholar, so I used to commute from my home to school or college. So I was always living with my family up until 22. Then I moved to a different city called Chennai. So yeah, I miss home, but now it's almost 12 years since I'm living out from my family. I miss them sometimes, and they do visit us here as well. So, and we do travel to Kerala as well every year. Unfortunately, this year we could not go because of this pandemic. Hopefully next year we can make our journey to Kerala. Yeah.
Well, nobody's going anywhere, and the weather is obviously very different than Kerala at the moment. I mean, we're all even finding it quite difficult because it was so beautiful a few months ago when lockdown happened, and now it's our summer and
I think summer is over.
So I'm glad that you like the green, but tell us a little bit about your job. I know that you work full-time as well as taking on the distillery. So how does that work for both you and Robert?
So I currently work as an IT program manager in Dell. So I have a few programs of my own as well, which I'm working for my current job. But my programs are around different parts of the world. So that also gives you the flexibility of getting, buffer time in between. So you can just work and help him as well. And these days, I kind of go and work in Robert's place as well, because there is a lovely bar counter which is being set up as well. And it's lovely, and it's a great building with great character. So I can go in there as well. And whenever there is a new bottling happening, so I kind of help him as well. And I kind of do the, the tasting note labeling, which is on the neck of the bottle. So I love doing that because I love doing stuff which is always repetitive.
Okay. So I'm actually quite like that myself. Yeah, I used to work in wedding stationery. I love sitting down for hours just tying all the little ribbons.
And it's so lovely. You kind of zone out, right? So I kind of do that in the evening, and I sit in this green little room and put some music and do that.
Brilliant.
Up those for the bottle. So
it's like a little hobby as well in the evening.
I'm like, this is my therapy.
Yeah. But you're so busy. So what inspired you and your husband then to create the distillery? Because I know he only left work very recently. So you're working full time. So where did the idea come from?
So Robert's background is biochemistry, and then he did a master's in distilling, and he worked with many interesting distilleries like Kilbeggan, Shed, and he was also based out in Vancouver with a very city distillery. I hope I'm saying it right. So he worked with a few interesting distilleries, and he always had the idea of opening up something on his own in Cork. And when you look, Cork did not have a kind of distillery in the city. So we are the first distillery which is open in past 50 years. So it's kind of, for the city also, it's very good. For me, I come from Kerala, and my first experience drinking was when I landed in Ireland. I drink much, but Rob have introduced me to kind of nice fine spirits. So we used to go together for whiskey tasting, vodka tasting, gin tasting, and all those things. And we used to visit, whenever we go holidays, we go and visit craft distilleries, craft breweries. This is the kind of thing which we like, and we love museums and all those things. And so then when Robert wanted to set up a distillery, we wanted to identify a nice location which looks very raw, real, and very kind of, arty like. So we kind of spotted a very nice location, which is in Ford building.
Yeah, I know it. It's amazing building, and it actually really ties in well with your brand, because when I looked at your website and I know the building, I was like, wow, it's like they were made to be together. It's amazing.
Yeah, and we have made our best effort to retain all the structures as well. And then Rob was like, okay, so our first product, we wanted to have a gin first, right? And we wanted, as we both are from different parts of the world, we wanted our first product to celebrate that differences and celebration product. So that's how we ended up with Maharani, and he asked me to identify some signature botanicals which could be used, and I identified the signature botanicals from Kerala, which is used in the gin. Yeah.
Brilliant. So tell us a little bit more about the gin and how long it takes to produce and what kind of ingredients. Yeah, because as I said, I'm a gin drinker, but I would not know much about gin. I know what I like, but I wouldn't know the actual ingredient stuff. So it's interesting to find out, what is actually making your product.
So gin, you have to have juniper. So that is like a standard which we need to have. And a signature botanical which makes our gin different is 3 signature botanicals, which is cassia and pomelo and nutmeg mace. So these 3, cassia, you would have seen it in some of the gins, but you would not have seen nutmeg mace or pomelo used much in any of the gins. So these 3 botanicals give a kind of unique flavor for the product, and nutmeg mace gives a little bit of spicy, not over spicy, like nice spicy dry finish for the gin. And cassia gives a sweetness, and pomelo is like ancestor or the big daddy or a distant cousin of grapefruit in Asia.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
So that gives a citrus element for the gin. So and then we worked around other botanicals to kind of have a good balance for the gin. So from the manufacturing to the infusing botanicals, it will take around 1 week. And as you know, we are a craft still, so we produce small batches and then we combine together and then bottle it in our place. Everything is done manually, right from labeling.
Wow.
So kind of do all those things. So until produce, it's around 1 week, but then bottling, then labeling, until it gets into a shop, it's a long process.
It's a long process, yeah.
So we kind of every day we do little by little. Some bottles today, label and keep it ready. Like that's how we do it. Yeah.
Brilliant. It sounds so interesting. But as I said, I do love the label. It's so simple. Your website is so simple. I love the way you carried the blue from your label, and I love the blue hand. I love the blue hand on your website. It's very classy. It's simple and it's contemporary, and I absolutely love it. How did you go about sourcing these botanicals? Like, was there a lot of taste testing, or how did you So botanicals, when Rob was saying, hey, look, we have to get something from India which reflects, which need to be used in the gin, I was really sure it has to be procured from Kerala, where I've grown up with, and I kind of know how things are. Like, there is a place in Kerala called Wayanad, which is on the Western Ghats of India. Western Ghats is like the Amazon, Amazon. It's like very green, so fertile, everything there. Even if you throw a small seed, it will grow because it's that fertile and it's so untouched because it's protected as well. So, and Wayanad is my favorite destination in Kerala. So I have some great fond memories, nostalgic memories, going home, going with family there. So kind of, I knew that it had to be from Wayanad, but we wanted to have that interesting social element to this product as well. So, as a woman in technology, right? I'm kind of vocal about women being in STEM and women getting into leadership roles. So we wanted to procure botanicals, which is from a women's collective run by women's. Wow. And also we bumped onto this place called Vanamu. And it was very interesting because it's a group of local women, right? And they run the entire process. So they source the botanicals from the local farmers, organic, and they believe in sustainability as well. So they procure, they process it and make it ready. And last year we visited their
the collective, and we were really amazed. Kind of, yeah, the quality was superb, like, excellent quality. And it's also very interesting and inspiring to see the women kind of lead this and do this. And these people are very quite successful. They have a lot of coffee export happening to Germany and in rest of the Europe. So yeah, they are actually very self-sufficient group. It was really interesting and very inspiring as well, and very happy and smiley all the time.
Yeah, but that's great, because it's such a beautiful story when you find something that you love and you and your husband working together, and you can marry both your cultures, and also you get to travel back home as well, so it's kind of a win-win for everybody.
Exactly.
It's really beautiful. Can you describe the perfect Maharani gin and tonic to us? Like, is there a particular garnish that you would recommend? Do you prefer a tall glass? Do you prefer a balloon glass? What kind of tonic water? Because sometimes I go in now and I buy gin or order a gin, and I'm asked about a million questions. It's like ordering a 3-course meal. I kind of get confused sometimes. There's so much choice. So for you, what is the perfect gin?
So for me, I love sweetness, right? You can go for a classic gin gimlet with lemon syrup, yeah. And our signature serve is called High Queen and Sisterhood. So High Queen is, you can just put on a gin and tonic with premium Irish tonic water called Porter's. It's a very good quality, this tonic as well. So I just have a slice of grapefruit as well, and few mint leaves, which is optional. I personally don't prefer mint leaves. I'm not a mint leaf fan. So if you like mint leaf, just add it on, and a little bit of a lemon syrup, and if you like sugar, just add it on. And
grapefruit, you're saying put a slice of grapefruit in?
Yes, yeah.
Wow, I've never tasted. I will definitely have to come down and do a few taste tests with you guys. You were working on a visitor centre and a gin school. How is that progressing, or what is your plan for that for the future?
So we are currently working on opening up our visitor center. So we have our bar almost ready. So we have worked with a local Robert's friend. He's a great craftsman. So he have helped us design the bar counter, and also we have some really nice elements put up in the bar counter. It's very interesting. So hopefully we can open up in September for the tours and gin school as well. We initially wanted everything together to be launched, but the pandemic have pushed up our stuff. So we thought product, and let us see how things are emerging with the lockdown and all. And then we will, as of now, we're thinking hopefully September.
Okay, well, brilliant. I hope that goes ahead, because I will definitely be making a road trip with my girlfriends. And also, I know a lot of people in Cork who would be very interested to go. And I would love to even just see the building as well, because of my passion for architecture and interiors and graphics. For me, I cannot wait to see it all coming together. Are you planning to produce any other types of spirits, or is gin what you're going to focus on for a while? Or
so first product is gin, and early next year we're planning to launch rum as well. So we have done a trial kind of recipes, and we have locked down on a recipe which could be used for our rum. So hopefully next year we could launch that too. And we are also planning aquavit. How is it, aquavit? And absinthe as well.
Absinthe, okay.
Yeah, so this will be like very small scale, just absinthe and all to be you could purchase directly from the still and the distillery, and rum you could hopefully next year it should be available in stores. Yeah.
Wow, so you're going to be busy. You're going to be very, very busy.
A lot to do.
A lot to do, but it's good. It's exciting, and I think I can see your passion, and you I love what I do, and we're very lucky that we found what we love to do. And even to hear that you've opened a business and you've had the confidence to open a business in the way the current climate is, I think it's brilliant, because I am seeing a lot of new businesses open, and it is an exciting time to do it. So congratulations again, it's brilliant. But if you could give your 20-year-old self some advice, what would it be, and what would you say to 20-year-olds out there who may be thinking about setting up a new business and have a dream?
I grew up, as I told earlier, I grew up in a small village in Kerala, so everyone knows everyone. So I was not really confident with my own self, my own body, my skin, my hair. I was not confident. I was not much open. I was really afraid to go out. I was really afraid to even stay in a hostel. So I lived with my family up until 22 before I decided to move. So if I look back and say, I think I should have been more confident, more open, and should not have been afraid of changes. I'm glad it's, it changed. Over years, I have learned to start loving myself and my body, and, a little bit less shy as well.
I think that comes with age, though. I think I would say the exact same. It comes with age, and it is about just trusting and believing in yourself. I have a few quick fire questions for you that we just want to get to know you a little bit more. But just one thing before we go on to that is, where can we buy Maharani Gin? Where is it available to us? Because I definitely want to go and get myself some.
So we are working on our online shopping. So hopefully in another 2-3 weeks, it should be up to our site itself. So currently you can buy online and also in stores through irishmalts.com and celticwhiskey.com. And it's also stocked up in major retailers like Madsen, Super Values, and Bradley's, nice kind of, many stores we have it lined up. And we are working on getting it to more stores as well, because people are looking for the product, and we want, to have the product so that people can pick it up. So we are working on more stockist at the moment. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I definitely look forward to tasting it. So I have a few quick fire questions here that I'm going to ask you. What is your first drink in the morning?
Yeah, I love chai. I'm a tea lover. So I make chai, and I like it really strong with at least 3 to 4 tea bags. So to kickstart my day.
Wow.
So I love chai. So that's my first drink.
What are you currently reading at the moment?
I love poetries. So I am reading a poetry book called Poetry Pharmacy. So they have two editions now, Poetry Pharmacy and Poetry Pharmacy Returns. It's a very interesting book. So it's like a prescription to your soul. So some days you might feel depressed. Some days we might feel a little bit overwhelmed. So it has poems for every kind of emotions, so like for grief, for happiness. It's an interesting book. So I read 1 or 2 poems in the morning just to kind of boost. Yeah, I love poetry.
Wow, that's right. I've never heard. That's really interesting. Really, really interesting. And would you read it? Would you find the poem to match the kind of mood you're in, or do you just read it as a book?
Based on my mood, I've lost one of my friend 2 weeks ago. So I was really, it was really, so to cope up with the grief. And I had this fantastic, I read 2 poems in this book to cope up with the grief. I think it's very interesting. So it kind of gives us a different perspective to deal with this grief. It helps.
I'm so sorry to hear that, but it's nice to see that you found something that can help you when you're feeling low or when you're feeling sad. Can I ask you, where is your favorite spot in the house?
I'm sitting in this favorite spot in the room. So I call this my little green room. So we recently painted this room.
I can see the green, yeah.
Together. So it's all green, and it overlooks the green out as well. So yeah, the whole idea is once it's winter, once all these are gone and it's gray, you can still be in the green room and just feel that you are surrounded by
green is the color of balance, and it reduces our heart rate. So it keeps us calm. So I always say to clients, if you're feeling stressed or panicked, find something green, or even lie on something green. So you have found that it calms us down and it reduces our heart rate. So it's a very good place to feel balanced in. So you found that. So excellent. Are you an early bird or a night owl? Do you stay up drinking your gin all night?
I'm an early bird, so I kind of wake up around 5:36. Wow. Even if I don't have alarm, I wake up that time, because back in Kerala, everyone used to, in my home, my father, everyone wakes up at 5:30 and we go to bed at 8:30. So Rob, you sleep at 8:30. I'm like, yeah, that's how I used to be, so I cannot change that. But recently, I think I stay up till around 10, but I'll be kind of, sleeping in the couch while watching some stuff. But I'm an early bird. I wake up around 5:36. That's
wow. I have to crawl out of bed. I'm not. I do get up early, but I'm not an early bird. I'm not one of those people that jumps out of bed. But what is your most memorable meal that you've ever had?
My mom's meal, I love everything which my mother cooks. So I miss that. And Rob makes lovely pork.
Okay.
Pork. So I love that as well. But I think my mother's meal is what I
So,
love
yeah.
most. And in Kerala, we have a festival called Onam, which happens in August or September. This year, it's for August 31st or August 30th. So we make a big vegetarian meal, which is served on banana leaf with so many curries and dishes. So it's like a vegetarian feast. So yeah, I love, it's called Sadhya. I love an Onam Sadhya and my mother's food.
Oh, wow, because I'm actually a vegetarian. That sounds amazing. It's a whole festival on vegetarian, is it?
So it is like okay. So Onam is a festival. We had a back like a few centuries ago. We had a king. So this is celebrated like we believe that this king will come back and visit everyone in Kerala. So we kind of greet him with all this food. We decorate our houses with floral arrangements and all those things. So we kind of, it's a 10-day celebration. And in the first, second, 4 days, we kind of, everyone celebrates it. So it's like Christmas for Kerala people.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's this big meal on the banana leaf. It's lovely. If you love vegetarian food, I think this is like yeah.
Oh, wow, because I've always been a vegetarian. Like since I was a child, I've always been a vegetarian. And I just love experimenting with food. And my husband is actually a very good cook. But
Mm,
yeah, I love that kind of food. I love different tastes. I love food that's mixed and you
yeah.
can get different senses of taste.
Flavors and yeah.
Brilliant. So I was going to ask you what your favorite color is, but I think I already know that because you've mentioned green quite a lot. And I love
Great.
that, color association is so important for people, and I don't think they realize how important it is. But obviously, the association of green between Kerala and Ireland is what I
Mm,
love about Ireland, even though the rain isn't
yeah.
particularly wonderful.
As you're a color expert, definitely you can vouch for this. Color actually really lifts the spirits up. So if you have something surrounded with color, bright clothes, it kind of instantly lifts your spirit up. Like so,
Yeah,
yeah.
it definitely does.
I don't like gray much. Anything except gray, I love all of the colors.
Well, I think a lot of people would say the same at the moment because all we can see are grey skies, and it's, as I
Um,
said, it's so different than a few weeks ago. And I hope this isn't our summer, but I just want to say a huge thank you. It has been a pleasure speaking to you, and I will definitely be coming to visit. We will definitely be
Please
down.
do, please do. And thanks, Sadil, for it was lovely talking to you and lovely colors around there. I'm like, wow,
Oh, thank you. Well,
some
behind me is one of my favorite artists at the moment. It's Karen Hickey, and she's
and
actually part of the art auction that we have on Inside Out. But I love looking at that
lovely
picture.
stuff.
Every time I turn around from this is my computer. When I turn around and it's from the computer, I could be here for hours, and I just turn around and see that picture, and it just makes me smile.
Yeah.
I'll keep it there forever.
Lovely. Peace there. Yeah.
Oh, well, listen, thank you so much, and I hope to meet you again, okay?
Yeah. Nice
Take
meeting
care.
you. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.